Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to change up the pace a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy getting that engine finished. However, if you're following on the Facebook page, you know I'm kind of at a standstill on it right now. Anyways, I've got the motor together for the most part. Just need to put some oil in it and then crank it. But the problem is I can't crank it until I figure out this electrical gremlin first. After opening this PCB, oh yeah, clarification. This PCB, this whole box is actually called the PCB. It's missing its cover. Protective control box. Basically basically protects the truck from what was it? Reverse polarity. It also makes sure that you don't start it when the truck is already running, and it also makes sure that you have the transmission in neutral before you can start it. So it does a few things in protection of the vehicle itself. Usually when you open it, you see like a catastrophic failure, like some component basically blew up. I didn't see anything. The only thing I saw was one resistor that got a little warm. Yeah, that's a resistor. And one end of looks like a regular diode that got a little hot. I don't think they're points of failure because it's actually not on the component. It's just where this one's just on a pin. So that, if anything, that might be just a bad contact within the PCB itself, maybe. And then the resistor, the resistor is really no big deal because they typically get really hot anyways. So unless you see, basically some burnt pieces and whatnot. Here, see if I can point them out to you if the light will cooperate. Alright, there's two diodes right here, but that's not the diodes I'm referring to. The resistor is hiding right here, the one that got warm on this end, and that diode right there. Yeah, that diode right there, and this contact, that contact right there is the one that was getting hot. If anything in here, if anything has failed, it's probably probably that PCB. Since there's very little information on the troubleshooting portion for this piece, for these boxes, figured I'd throw in a video for it. This box can get a little confusing because there's two different acronyms that you can use and mean two different things. But this diagram right here is the circuit for the PCB, the protective control box. Now, this section is right here, just the box. This goes out to the starter switch, because remind you, if you don't own one of these trucks, there's actually two switches. One for the batteries to turn on everything, and then the other batteries for starting the engine, running, and just, yeah, that's basically it. So this is the starter switch. This is the neutral safety switch that I refer to. Basically, it makes sure that the transmission is neutral, so that you can start the truck. And Charlie, pin Charlie on the box. That's your 24 volt positive straight from the battery, not switched. Pin Alpha, that is your 24 volt switched power. Pin Bravo, that goes out to your starter after, of course, this circuit here has been completed. That goes out to your starter, to the solenoid, to actually allow the motor to start. Or turn over, I should say. It may not start because you may not have fuel. Whatever. And then this one is your alternator or generator. As soon as you turn the battery on, this essentially has power. Turns on this relay so that you hit 24 volts to the starter switch. Then, of course, as long as you've got the truck in neutral, it'll come in on echo, power the relay for the actual starter itself, and then power out to the starter to actually turn over the motor. So let's pretend as if this box is not open, because it was a real pain in the arse and you don't want to do it if you can avoid it. So I want to look at my chart again. Let's see. Now, ground, alpha to ground should have some resistance but flow in only one direction. So I'm going to put one piece on there we go. That's through the diode and through the relay, the power applied portion of the relay where you energize the relay. So that's reading, looks like it's about correct. Let's try echo to ground. Echo, where are you? There you are. Echo to ground. Uh-oh. That may not be good, unless I'm reading this wrong. No, that's definitely echo. Echo. Now it actually goes through the PCB. It doesn't go directly to... Yeah, it doesn't go directly to the relay itself. I believe this one's a starter. Let's see, where's Bravo at? Bravo. Yep, that one's a starter and that one's regular 24 volt power. So check across. This is not easy to... Oh, let's try it this way. Oh, that's kind of visible. Nine mega ohms. That's about right, because it's supposed to be off. Or not energized. And then Bravo. Should be down right there. Yep. Okay, so if anything is the issue on this one, it might be the PCB. I'm going to rig up some 24 volt power so we can see if we got anything. I'll be right back. Remember, pin alpha is the 24 volt switched on power, and that'll power one of the relays. It'll power this one actually. Let's move you over so you can actually see. Yeah, it'll power this relay right here. This relay is for the actual starter. So what we're going to do, now this is only 20 or 12 volt, and it's one of those small battery chargers, you know, the dumb ones. So now I don't know if you can hear it, but that relay is trying to engage when I hook it onto the backside of pin alpha. But we're going to double check anyways. Now this orange wire, well, it's kind of hard to see in the video, in the camera, but the orange wire here that goes to this relay is what is the power that comes out of the PCB, and we're getting about 11 volts. So now we can go over to pin echo, which is this one right here, and you don't hear squat. And let me take it to the side of the relay where that power is supposed to go to it. There's nothing. However, damn it. Now, listen. This relay does power, but that relay does not. So it might actually be a combination of two issues, where I have a bad relay and a bad PCB. So, I do have a problem with this PCB, or this protective control box. Okay, yeah, like I was saying, there's a possibility I've got a bad relay as well, but I definitely have a bad PCB, printed circuit board, part of this protective control box. So, I'll see if I can get another PCB from a friend of mine, and see if we can get the truck started. Oh yeah, before I take off, normally when you see these fail, it's because of this line right here. Normally it pretty much destroys also the PCB, and usually takes out another component with it, from the pictures that I've seen from other people. But that's because the voltage regulator on the back of the generator fails and pretty much wipes out the entire electrical system usually. If you got any questions, got any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Till next time, I'll see you around. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to check out what's actually going on current, go check out my Facebook. If you really like what I'm doing and you want to help support the channel, go check out my Patreon.